Alright, we should be live. We should be live. Nice. Okay. Alright. Checking my stream. Alright, so gonna do a little end of month live stream. We've talked about mid-month of where we see the market outlook. We're going to go over the majors and some other things. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So obviously we had a pretty big sell-off in Bitcoin. We went up about 118. Now we're back at the range lows. Not much has changed, honestly. I think we are in a little bit of an end of month sell-off. I think we are finding ourselves at a relative bottom. Overall, I think with this podcast / live stream, I don't know why I said podcast, I meant live stream. The general thesis is that we're at the lows of September. I think we start off the month, everybody was saying how it's going to be a very bearish month. And even though that was the case, a lot of people were really bearish going into September. The first couple of days of September, a lot of people didn't believe this was a bullish rally, in the first week. And then obviously we went from about 109, which is where we're at. I mean, I guess the lows was 107 all the way to 118. And a lot of people, towards the end of the month got bullish again. And started leveraging up and didn't really kind of understand that there was going to be a little bit of an end of month rebalance. Obviously, I think with the rate cuts that were announced, the quarter basis point cut, this obviously helped fuel the rally. So right about here, I believe it was like the 17th when we got the announcement, so we were sitting at 114. Finally got us a little push to about 118, but that was going to be a natural resistance level. So now we've sold back down to the lows. Taking a look on a wider spectrum, obviously, I had my predispositions. I thought we were going to kind of launch off of this announcement. This is just a little projection bar pattern that I put on there. I thought we were going to go to 140s. But obviously, you kind of react with the market. I don't think the thesis is invalidated that Q4 is still going to be a very bullish quarter. I think this just kind of gives us more of a ranging market, and the chop that we've seen in other parts of the time. When we're about, at 60s, we broke all-time highs, and then we just ranged for, let's see, how long was this since we ranged? Wow, that was almost 9 months, 241 days. So that was pretty horrible in 2024. Luckily that in 2025 we had a little bit of a better market. I mean, although you can still see it's fairly ranging. It has its periods where it ranges, breaks down, goes back up, we range for a little bit, goes back up again, range again. So I think overall, from previous market cycles, a lot of people just get a little PTSD from the whole FTX blow up, and every time the market's not going up, they think it's over. Even though I do think we're in the later stages of the bull, I don't think it's over just quite yet. And this range just always just kills a lot of people. I feel like a lot of perp traders, a lot of people are over leveraged, and we wanted this asset to become a Wall Street asset, and then lo and behold, when it actually becomes a Wall Street asset, a lot of people think that this thing is just going to keep going up, and there's no institutional algorithms or trade desks that are trading this asset in a fashion to bleed retail out. I think that's the biggest misconception. A lot of people think that Wall Street is just buying our bags and not actually actively trading against us as Bitcoin natives, and I think that's actually what is going on, which is why we see a lot of these weird liquidations, and then we go back up. you know, if we look at like the market structure, it really looks like, you know, longs or shorts get hunted in every single direction. And essentially that is how Wall Street is making their money off this coin. It's not just, you know, oh, we're going to long, you know, Bitcoin 50x at an institutional desk, or we're going to buy this shit coin and it's going to go 100x. There's definitely a lot more sophistication in that. Not much else to say about Bitcoin. I think I'll also pull up some of the liquidation levels. Actually, I can do that right now, and then we can go between. So I know Kingfisher does a lot of liquidation levels, but I use this website called CoinInc. And if you gives you a lot of cool things. I kind of lost my mind. So it gives you the liquidations that have happened, which assets, gives you a little heat map. I am a little bit under the weather, so pardon if you hear me sneeze or I sound a little stuffy. So it also gives you the liquidation heat map and a regular liquidation map. So if we take 1 week on Binance, I like to go between Binance and Bybit. There's a little bit more aggressive traders on Bybit, so it's good to see both. We have a large long liquidation structure around between like 108, like honestly I want to say like 107 to about 109, and lots of shorts going all the way up to 115. They're pretty balanced. Obviously the short liquidation around 110 and 115 is relatively on the same size, arguably at 112. There are some talks on Twitter, people that actually reference liquidation maps, that we are going to target the lows before we target the highs. It is Sunday. It is a little bit illiquid. Do I see a little bit of a scam going down and wicking to 107? I'm not going to say it's not realistic or it's not plausible. I'm just more in the camp that I think all the liquidations have happened, and I think up is the move, mostly because we're going into a new month. And ironically, if you were here and you were like, why are we selling off? Right around here, I can pull up the news alert. There was a alert that the SEC and FINRA are investigating crypto DATs, digital asset treasury companies, because of insider trading, which was quite ironic because there were insiders selling off on this whole move before the news. Like the news literally got dropped like right here at the bottom. Like honestly, like I don't know where exactly it was. I could probably pull a timestamp, but it was like you see this like one little wick like right here. That was it. That was, maybe it was like right here. Like that was the announcement of like the insider trading investigation. Yeah, so I mean, just looking at like the structure, I mean, like we're really at the bottom of this red wave. If you want to take a look at that, I think we're breaking through. I think that shows positivity of going into an upward momentum. Sure, we could probably get rejected off 111 and there could be another trade down. I just don't see at this specific point that we're actually going to be going down to 107 here. If you want to make the argument, we'll hit 111 and then, or 110-ish, and then go down to 107. That I could see a little bit more in terms of market structure, but definitely not right around here at 109. So that's that for Bitcoin. We're gonna take a look at ETH. ETH, pretty much the same situation. Sold off on the whole digital asset treasury, insider trading, inside selling anyways. Still in the same range. It seems very, very similar for both Bitcoin and Ethereum of their market structure right now. I think each one of them is fighting for flows. So we'll definitely see what happens in Q4. Once again, do not see this being bearish. Let's take a look at Solana. Solana's just one of these coins that's just, it's hard to get this cycle. If you weren't early through this little part and bought a shit ton of SOL and just absolutely 10x your bags here, like that was a hated rally, then anybody that made money off meme coins and tried leverage trading just absolutely got demolished right here. Then you have the Trump coin announcement, booted the market up, just literally specifically off like that the Trump meme coin is getting launched, and absolutely got sold down. I mean, like, this is just like bullshit. Like, went up, went down, spiked back up, sold off even harder. I mean, this is just absolute. I think this was actually right here. This is the Trump coin peak. I mean, you're taking 67% drawdowns. That's insane in a bull market. Now the coin is back up. Let me see. At the peak, it was 167%. You're still seeing about 120% off the lows of that liquidation. A lot of this has been, a lot of this move has been just because of the Solana treasury companies. Ultimately, you know, it's in situations like this, you just have to dial it back a little bit, your IQ. Bitcoin's not topped. ETH isn't topped. I don't think Solana is either. I mean, like, I could give you a 30-minute live stream where I'm like talking about, you know, flows and X, Y, Z, and the realization is going to be the same. It's not topped. We'll take a look at Solana a little closer to, let's say, about 450. 450, then I would say, depending on where Solana is trading relative to the ETH price, that's going to be the big thing. I think with ETH, we're definitely going to go and hit easily 7,000. Easily 7,000. And I mean, that is all to say, like, there was like massive speculation on the digital asset treasuries. They bought in with billions of dollars, and now people are calling the cycle over. Like, that's just not going to happen, especially with rate cuts. Like, I just don't think it's like, I mean, like, sure, there's stupid people on Wall Street and there's degenerates, especially in the crypto space, but I don't think billion-dollar companies or even $100 million like investments of billion-dollar companies are them literally buying the top. I think the most recent Solana digital asset treasury was priced in at about between 240 and 220 as the average price for their fills on their Solana digital treasury, which they're already down about 10%. So I just don't choose to believe that they've blindly aped hundreds of millions of dollars, even like, as some people are saying, providing liquidity for the FTX back holders or the people, you know, that are trying to get out during the bankruptcy proceedings, and that's going to be the end of the cycle. Ultimately, speaking of FTX, on the 30th, I believe it's like $1.2 billion is getting distributed by FTX. So this is the part of the stream where we're going to do a little less charts. And I have one coin I am going to put after this that I think is one of the easiest 10x's that I've ever seen. But let's just take a look at some things on Twitter. So FTX repayment, it was September 30th. Let me take a look. Yeah, so FTX will return $1.6 billion to creditors on September 30th. Like, this is just like boatloads of money. I mean, like, sure, maybe some of them have PTSD and, you know, 20 or 30% of them just never touch crypto again, but you're still left with over a yard, you know, left, and that's $1 billion for, if people don't know that slang. So you have a fucking yard to put into the market. It's gonna go somewhere. Vanguard exploring allowing crypto access for U.S. clients. It's like one of the last titans of the industry. I mean, they've trillions of dollars under management between all their people. This is like very, very bullish. So this is the news that I was referencing. The SEC and FINRA have reached out to over 200 DApps with concerns. I mean, concerns, right? Concerns. I mean, Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler were concerned about the industry. Does it mean like shit was happening? No. Concerns of insider trading treasury vehicles pre-announcement with a deeper investigation on the cards. Okay, guess what? Maybe there's some insider trading. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't the one doing it. I wasn't the one making money off of it if it was. But, you know. Sorry. I told you guys I was a little under the weather. I mean, do I think 200? I mean, like, first of all, I didn't even know there was 200 DATs, okay? I mean, obviously, there's, like, the 3 main ones for ETH and, like, the one major one for Solana. MicroStrategy, I guess, for Bitcoin, but like maybe MetaPlanet is another one. I mean, like 200 DATs, like I can honestly name 10, and I feel like I'm pretty in touch with like the market. I mean, I don't know if like a company buying like fucking Cooler, right? I don't know. Is this a fucking like Cooler Technologies, like whatever this shit is? It was like a Bitcoin, like they announced Bitcoin, like I don't know. How much Bitcoin did they fucking buy? Okay, yeah, so they've acquired, I don't know if this is like accurate, but what, like 83 Bitcoins for $9 million. So it's like, is this a digital asset treasury company? They hold 920 Bitcoin companies. So yeah, the Bitcoin treasury, Bitcoin balance. So yeah, they hold 100 million. So is this a DAT? I mean, I guess it is. It's 1.5 M now, which is pretty good. So anyways, didn't know there's 200, okay? Don't think every single one of them is doing insider trading. And here's the other thing. What if it's like, this is one of the companies, right? Like, whatever. I was doubting that this was, in my mind, like, I don't think this is like a massive player, right? Like, what's the market cap of Cooler? 175 million. Like, do I think a $175 million company really should be classified as a digital asset treasury? Like, sure, maybe, but I mean, like, there's also companies that are smaller. Like, when I'm thinking of like digital asset companies, I'm thinking of like MicroStrategy. Jesus Christ, did I misspell that? I did. Holy hell. Stock. What's the market cap? 87 billion. Like, yeah, that's like, to me, is like, maybe I'm just confusing, like, or just like misinterpreting. Like, yeah, sure, Cooler could be a digital asset company, right? This digital asset treasury. Does it mean that, let's say, this $100 million company had insider trading? Let's say that's a specific one that is doing. Does that mean MicroStrategy is gonna get like affected? Like, yeah, sure, intraday, like if a shock announcement comes out, sure, MicroStrategy might go down 2 or 5%, at worst, 10%, right? It doesn't mean MicroStrategy is a worse company. It's just like a bullshit headline. You buy MicroStrategy and you get a free ride on the reversion play, which is like what, 12 or 13%. Let's talk about like Bitminer. Okay, what is that? $8 billion. Like, there's companies that are much larger, right? And like, I'm thinking of the big giants that are like the actual like DATs that should be concerned if there's insider trading. If it's not like doing like the major ones, like the top 3 for each asset, ultimately I don't care. Like, there's hundreds of hedge funds, but no one is like, for example, if you're talking about like private companies, like if like a $5 billion hedge fund and their CEO is convicted of insider trading, are you pulling your money out of like Citadel? No, you're not, okay? Because obviously Citadel is like the king, and just because like some other assholes insider trading, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. So back to this whole like thing, because I'm going in loops. Yeah, sure, there might be concerns, but it doesn't say there's actual evidence. And like, yeah, this is like, I mean, great traction on this tree, right? So the market nuked because insider traders were selling on insider information about an investigation about insider trading. So we're going to time date this, September 25th, 6:09. Let's take a look at the market, specifically ETH, right? On the 30-minute, let's reset the chart view, right? Okay, so we have all this thing. Let's try to find September 25th, right, at 6:09. Okay, so 6:09 is going to be 18:09. So what, this one right here, that's 1930. So like like right around here, 18. So this little wick right here. So this is where the news dropped. Maybe like some people on Bloomberg got it like an hour earlier, even though I don't believe so, but whatever. Even if it was like right here, dude, at the fucking stone bottom. I mean, like, bro, we've already went down 20%. That's when the news drops. And obviously, like, as you can see, the market was like kind of apathetic about it. They're like, oh, great, 200 dots. We didn't know about that. And it's actually gone up since then. So don't think that's an issue. Quite ironic. I think at this point, let's talk about this coin that I'm super, and none of this is financial advice. I will disclose I do hold a position in this coin. I bought it in the open market. I did not receive these tokens for promotion or anything like that. And the coin is Apex USD. And before we click on anything, let me talk about the thesis of this coin. So in the past week or 2 weeks, there's been a lot of hype about a coin and two coins in specific, which the biggest one is Aster, which is a DEX coin. It's founded by YZI Labs / Binance, CZ connection, like, it's absolutely gone like balls to the moon. So before we even do that, let's just take a look at Aster. Here we go. Let's do Maxi. I mean, it's gone absolutely parabolic, and with different markets, I think let's try to do not. Let's see. See, obviously, like, depends on which exchanges and when they list it. Let's do Binance. Yeah, see, this one's even lower, right? So there's been a lot of like hype. I mean, within like 5 days, the coin has gone parabolic. A lot of speculation is on this coin. A lot of people are trying to find the next Aster. If we go to coin market cap, I think it sits at like $3 billion, 3.5. Come on, brother. How am I supposed to stream when I can't even get a website in? Come on, brother. Jesus Christ. Alright. Coin. Aster. Look at this fucker. Market cap 2.9. Obviously, it's been falling. I think yesterday was it was a little higher, right? At 3.5. Anyways, $2.97 billion market cap. If we take a look at the market cap, we take a look at 1 month. Let's do 1 year. I guess this is all the data it can actually show to you from September 17th. I mean, market cap was like 320 million. Went all the way up to 3.23 billion. Insane. Look, I'll be honest, straight up, don't know much about this coin. Kind of missed it, whatever. Here's the play that I'm looking into. So if we want to associate Hyperliquid, that's like the king DEX. This Aster is, the DEX for Binance. Well, the second or third biggest player, however you want to call it, in the game of perpetuals and all these DEXs is Bybit. That is where we get Apex coin, which the coin has been out for a while, like 3 years now. Just absolutely doing nothing though. Like if we take it all time, like it's done nothing. 2023, I guess in 2024 it went up to, let's take a look at the market caps, 192. So obviously there's been a lot of token issuance, because you can see that even though the price hasn't made an all-time high, the market cap has, right? So now we're sitting back at like 2.1. And what really happened here is CEO of Bybit right here. I love that they give me a little tweet feed because I don't have to look this up. Ben Zhao, the CEO of Bybit, was basically saying Mantle / Apex, big things are coming. A lot of people were like, well, holy shit, you know, if this thing was sitting at 31 million market cap, like, I need to fucking buy. It's skyrocketed about 285 million market cap. And once again, this is one of these like brain dead analysis where I'm not going to show you ratios or like I'll give you a couple points and like you guys can make your own decision, but I think this is one of those coins where I will make a video in about a month, and this is sitting 10x higher, and everybody's like, why the fuck did I not bid? You have multiple DEX coins that are trading at billion-dollar valuations. Besides the Aster Apex, besides the Binance Aster like DEX coin, the rest of them are not like major exchanges with like actual money to back it up or actual real investors or anything like that. So this is the one coin that's currently sitting at $284 million, and we just saw that the Aster or Apex, god damn it, I'm just all over the place. Apex is sitting at 284. Aster's like at 2 billion, like 2.9 billion. That's a 10x right there. If we just literally, they're the exact same thing. One's Binance, one's Bybit. Like, they're both major players. Like, if we're gonna value, like, a lot of like times in Wall Street, you know, stocks get priced to their competitors. They're like, okay, well, you know, Apple versus Microsoft, or you know, this nuclear stock versus this, like Oklo versus LEU. You know, just you look to market comparisons, right? Like when people are like, oh, well, you know, what's ETH gonna do? Well, they compare it to Bitcoin. And when people compare Solana, what do they compare it to? They compare it to ETH. And when they have like this some random shitty new L2, what do they compare it to? They're like, oh, well, let's see if it can get to like the transactions or the market cap of Solana, right? So it's like, it's this whole game of just comparing. So that's that. A lot of this move, let me just go on the price chart. A lot of this move, there was definitely like, I can just tell there was like a little bit of inside knowledge into this announcement, and it was slowly creeping up right about here. And this is really when the announcement came in. You know, it left no room for anybody to play. So if you didn't get in around 0.7, when like obviously like a coin that is doing absolutely nothing, absolutely no volume, there's this huge pickup, and obviously you can see like it's obviously a very illiquid market. There's not a lot of these coins out there because it was a dead coin, realistically speaking. You can kind of see the inefficiencies in the liquidity and like people trying to enter with size, and execution was poor. So at that point, you know, the announcement did come out about Apex / Mantle is right here. And then it was slowly grinding up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Big sell-off yesterday midday. And finally, we did get the full announcement and breakout of what was actually going to happen. If we go back to X, they actually told us what they're planning to do, and it actually is very, very bullish. So let's go over it. All right. So guess Apex perpetual contract is now live on Bybit contract. Okay, nice. That's good to see. So this is the big news. So it came out about an hour ago. This is really why I was like, all right, I wasn't feeling good. And I was like, I don't know if I want to live stream today, but I saw this. I was like, look, I got to talk about this. I'll give like a general market overview, but I definitely want to talk about Apex. So they're kicking off this buyback initiative with $12 million of token buyback, which, you know, at first doesn't seem like much, but in a market cycle that's all been driven about flows. If your coin isn't getting flows, institutional or large flows, your coin's fucked, okay? You can take a look at something like ETH was dead this whole cycle. The only time it woke up is when all these digital asset treasury companies started saying, we're going to be making ETH stats. Okay. Solana obviously had a lot of, as I like to put, crime on the chain, and people were buying Solana so they can buy these meme coins. So that was a flow, right? Maybe it wasn't institutional, but it was a flow. Okay, it was a big retail flow. On the other hand, AVAX is right there with it. Coin's been doing jack shit because it has no fucking flows. Now it's picked up because there's digital asset treasuries trying to be made on AVAX, as well as some ETFs. So we'll see how that goes. Back to the point, $12 million is going right into this token, which, let's go back to CoinMarketCap just to make people understand, like, yeah, maybe $12 million is not going to touch, like, it's like a fucking leveraged long on Bitcoin, like one leveraged long, but with Apex, who has daily volume of like 288, and I mean before that it was even much less. The circulating supply is about the total supply is 500 million, right? The circulating supply is 134 million. So damn near 10% of the circulating supply is getting bought up. Like, I don't know, 12 million divide by, what was it, 134 million? Will it do the math? 9%. 9% of the actual circulating supply is getting bought up. That's insane, okay? Look at the markets. This is the crazy thing. Like, centralized exchanges. Coinex, I don't know what the fuck Coinex. BitTrue, Ourbit, Blowfin, okay, we know Blowfin. BitUnix, don't know. Bybit, which is like, you know, it's native like DEX, so surely Bybit should list it. XT, I don't know what that is. BingX, like, I don't know, tier 5 exchange. MEXC, another tier C exchange. Like, there is no markets to buy this, right? It's not like you're going to log into your Binance. It's not like you're going to log into Hyperliquid. It's not like you're going to log into Robinhood. It's not like you're going to log into Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini. Like, you got all these, like, shit tier exchanges, which I don't even know how many of them are licensed in America. You got the Koreans on Bybit buying it on spot. And if you look at DEXs, you can fucking only get this shit on Uniswap. Like, how did I get the coin? Uniswap. And the only and like $12 million of buying power is coming straight from just Bybit on the Bybit exchange, right? So like they're gonna get good execution. I fear not. Like, I'm not saying Bybit is actually buying this. I'm saying like Apex is buying it, but I'm saying most likely they're doing it through Bybit for the best execution. Because obviously, if you look at the volume, Bybit's obviously doing the most of the volume. Whoa, don't want to go to Uniswap, and it probably has the best liquidity for this coin. Maybe that's why you see that there's a little bit of a price arbitrage of these third tier exchanges quoting a lower price than actual Bybit, and that's probably due to maybe them starting to execute the $12 million buyback. So besides that $12 million, over time this allocation will gradually increase, reaching to 90% of all revenue. So right now they're using 50% of Apex's protocol revenue. But like, look, people are gonna get on this DEX. People are gonna start trading. People are gonna start, like, this is gonna start hitting the headlines. Like, no one's fucking talking about this. I think like outside of like a few names on CT, no one's really talking about this coin. I posted it into some telegrams that I'm in. Everybody's like, wow, it's just like another shit coin runner. Like, bro, you're posting something at like 180 million market cap. And I'm just like, you guys don't get it. Like, this is like, it's being slept on. That's why I feel so confident about it. So this isn't just financial incentive, like confidence in the future of Apex. So obviously they have this buyback program. Like, I can kind of keep going into what else they're saying and what other people are saying, but I just think that it's a very no-brainer move. I mean, like, look, we've just been talking about it. It's been going up. Like, I don't even have to worry about it because I'm already in. But super low market cap. Obviously, the DEX meta that's like what people are talking about. Like, it's all about attention economies, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a couple months, and then there's always a new theme in crypto Twitter, right? You have this super undervalued asset, and it's not like it's coming from like some dickwad in like Minnesota. Like, this is the DEX for Bybit, arguably the second largest like market, out there. I mean, all the Asian traders are on Bybit, right? If they're not on Binance. And it's 10 times less in market cap than the leading one. And if Aster keeps going up, if you're like, okay, well, this coin's not as good as Aster, doesn't have as much like financial backing or more buybacks than Aster, it's like, it's fine. Well, if Aster is in a week is priced at $5 billion, there's going to be people that are like, well, why the fuck is Apex not at least $1 billion? And that's already a 3 times return on just $3 billion, right? Or $1 billion. What if it goes to $5 billion? I mean, I'm not gonna start like being a ridiculous bull, but the coin hasn't even, like, just fundamentally, it has not even broken its previous all-time high in price, even though it has broken it in market cap. Like, that's still like just on a very degenerate level. Like, people would be like, well, I'm not selling until it's $3. So I think I've gone in circles about this. We'll definitely do another market update next week. I think it's going to result with prices being a lot higher than they are right now. I mean, just during our live stream, I love doing this. I love starting our live stream and then, checking where the prices are after, the start. So Bitcoin obviously is pushing up. Nice to see that. Solana, let's see, also pushing up a little bit, not as much compared to Bitcoin. Apex definitely pushing up. I think we started talking, it was like right around here. I mean, minuscule gains. Let's take a look at ETH. Also, it's pushing up. This is probably where we're going to end the live stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys appreciate the market insights, go ahead and give this video a like, subscribe. We'll definitely do weeklies. I have some cool stocks on stock videos I will also start sharing, and some stock analysis. I'm starting to kind of get back into the rhythm of this. I think after I kind of revived my channel, this is like my second live stream. Kind of getting a little bit more comfortable, just enjoying chatting. So, I mean, while I'm talking, let's just watch Bitcoin pump. Closing this out. Come on. Give me the pump. Wow. What is this? Almost 40 minutes. Great stream. If you guys have any questions, anything, recommendations, something I can do better, just let me know. Or if there's any stocks or crypto you guys want me to talk about, let me know as well. Alright, guys. Cheers.